Thank you, producer Brandon. This is Scott Johnson on behalf of Hopkins Farm Broadcasting here in Shelbyville, Tennessee, Bedford County, about 50 miles south of Nashville, 25 miles south of Murfreesboro, and the lovely, and today, believe it or not, sunny Green Hills of Middle Tennessee. It's that time of the month where we have Carol Garrette, the Director of Communications with Bedford County Schools, to come in and talk about many things that are going on in our school system here. Good morning, Carol.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having us.
Always a pleasure to have you here. And, of course, it is called Carol Garrette and Friends. You brought a friend today. Would you care to introduce her?
I did, absolutely. Dr. Janolyn King and I have been talking about this day for a while.
Okay.
Dr. King is our principal at the Bedford County Learning Academy and has some things that I think are important to share. And I guess the first thing we ought to start off with is not assuming that everybody knows what BCLA stands for and what we do at the Bedford County Learning Academy. So, Dr. King, will you first start us off with that? What is BCLA for those who might not be familiar?
Thanks for having me. BCLA is Bedford County Learning Academy, as Carol mentioned, and it is Bedford County's alternative school program. And within that program, we service students who get remanded for committing a zero-tolerance offense. As opposed to being expelled, they appeal their expulsion and get remanded to BCLA. And then we also have some students that principals place there for at-risk reasons, whether it's at risk for failing, they have behavior issues, attendance problems. And then also we service students who are just released from medical facilities to give them a transition before going back to their normal schools. So we wear many hats at BCLA.
And the great thing is that learning is in the title and learning continues for the students. So whatever's going on, we have certified teachers on staff, and we'll be talking about that, but the learning continues, and that's the best part. That's why
Carol,
we're here.
That's exactly what I was thinking, because back when I went in high school, and yes, there were horse and buggies, I guess, but I mean, the only real option was out of school suspension. I mean, they basically, if you had a problem, boom, and obviously your learning quit at that point, right?
Learning ends.
And I don't know the stats, but I'd say the non-graduation rate for that crew was probably pretty high back then.
Right.
So obviously BCLA gives an opportunity to learning to continue in a controlled environment. Outside of their normal school.
And the enrollment can go up and down. Dr. King, if you want to share what's the average enrollment, what do we have right now? What's the lowest you've seen it, and what's typical in terms of the number of students?
Our enrollment does fluctuate. Currently, right now, we have 62 students. We service students grades 6 through 12. So we currently have 36 high school students and 26 middle school students. That's a pretty high number for us. Anytime we're over 50, we really feel it. So a good number for us is between 35 to 50. But it's been as low as 20, 25, but as Carol said, our numbers do fluctuate as students come in and as students earn their points to return to their home schools.
Talk about that point system a little bit. I know you want to talk about staff here in a minute, but talk a little bit about that point system you have at BCLA, as far as, because these kids, obviously, when they're at BCLA, they're not at their normally assigned school or their zone school.
Correct.
They're coming to you for various reasons, but how can they earn their way back to their normal or their assigned school?
They can earn their way back with good attendance, good behavior, and good academic progress. And we have a daily point system where students can earn 90 points a day. Okay. And then they also get an extra 45 points for perfect attendance for the week. So if they have perfect attendance, so they can get back typically within 8 to 10 weeks of a 1-year remand. So it's been something that we're proud of at BCLA, that we were able to get implemented so that students aren't there for a year. So, and it gives the students something to work towards.
It's a positive. It's a reward system.
Yes, and we have levels, and as they advance through the levels, they get different perks. dress code, free days.
Okay.
We do have a uniform, as the kids call it.
Right.
It's a stricter dress code, so we have that built in as well. So that's part of some of our success stories.
How many staff do you normally have there at BCLA as far as, let's say certified teachers first?
Currently, right now, we have 10 certified teachers.
Okay. All right. And how do they get assigned to your school? Do they volunteer? Or I know it obviously takes a teacher with a lot of skill sets to be able to work there.
Since I've been there, the teachers that were there when I arrived, many of them are still there. Some have resigned and moved to different areas. But the teachers I have hired, they've applied and they've interviewed. And along with some other teachers in the building, we have a little committee and we interview them together. So teachers want to be at BCLA, so they apply.
I would think, Dr. King, that, because the classroom size is smaller there than it is in a normal school. So as a teacher, I'd almost think that's kind of something you'd want to do because instead of having a class of 20 or whatever,
or 30.
Or 30.
Or 35.
Thank you, Carol. Or 35. that you can really get into the teaching mode and give a lot of good feedback to a smaller group of kids.
I think that's been one of the misconceptions and one of the reasons I wanted to bring Dr. King on board is that I think some people think teachers who can't go to BCLA, and it's just absolutely not true. I think it's teachers who have a great passion for helping our students. It's a special
skill set, I think.
And teachers have choices.
Yep.
And so I think these teachers choose to be there, and there's a reason why they want to be there. And that's one of the things we talked about. I'd love for her to share why these teachers want to be at BCLA.
Do you have some examples?
Yes, I have.
All right, well, go ahead, Dr. King.
I'll share some from my teachers. This first example is from Court Huffman. He is my middle school math teacher.
Okay.
My why is because I know that a lot of these kids don't have a positive male in their lives. They need to see how a strong, positive male acts and reacts. Many of our students are used to seeing males in their lives acting and reacting in a violent or extremely negative way. I would like for them to see that it's okay to be kind to each other and show respect to everyone.
Well done, Court, one of our longtime teachers there in the school system. Thanks, Court.
Yes. Another why is from Melanie Bowen. She is the middle school and high school special ed teacher at BCLA. I feel like our young people need to value the importance of their education and their own responsibility in the process. Being able to realize their possibilities rather than simply focusing on their problems is so important. Many of our youth have been accustomed to accepting limitations rather than building possibilities for themselves. Not only can education help to open their eyes to opportunities before them, being educated can also prevent them from oppression, which can hold them back in the future. I enjoy being a part of the learning process. I also enjoy helping students understand the importance of the balance of effective self-advocacy and communication with others. These factors, combined with the fact that our students are a big part of our future as a society, is a strong reason why I have valued my many years of experience as an educator.
She makes a really good point there about the future because most of those kids are going to stay in our community. Mm-hmm. So getting that education and getting that special attention, I think, is so important. So good for her.
And when I think of Miss Bowen, she always has a smile on her face for the students. She's an encourager.
Okay.
And that's what I think of when I think
positive role model.
She's very positive. Mm-hmm.
We all need that, right?
Yes.
There you go.
I have a few more if I can share them.
Well, throw one more out there at us.
This one is from Howard Collins. We call him Coach.
Okay.
Why I became a teacher. To be honest with you, teaching was not my first choice. I wanted to become an epidemiologist until one of my professors at MTSU recommended me to become a teacher here in Shelbyville, Tennessee. I prayed about it and came to the realization that I had a lot of teachers that helped me throughout my life. Now it is my time to help other struggling youngsters find their way, or at least try my best to do so. Teachers impacted my life, so I hope I can do the same.
What does Mr. Collins teach?
He teaches our health and wellness courses for middle school and high school students.
Okay. Has he been there a while?
He's been there since BCLA got started.
I was going to say, I think I remember him when I did some school safety stuff there.
He is He's one of the original BCLA staff members.
Well, keep sharing. I know you got a couple more there.
Just
they
two
took
more.
they took the time to do this.
Well, and Mr. Collins, too, I wanted to say, when I've been in his classroom, too, he seems like he has a really good rapport with the students.
He does.
I think that's key and probably part of his success story there, that building rapport with students.
Yes. My next one is from Terry Parks. She is our middle school social studies teacher. She said, "My why is simple. I want to leave an impression on a student in a way that will change their life for the better. Through positive interaction, perhaps a better attitude towards history and education in general, I pray that I reach at least one child and make that child's life happier or more fulfilled. The stories I hear from our trauma-racked students just breaks my heart, and I believe that they need a little love, but with sternness and high expectations every day to blossom into that citizen that will help make our society, county, country, and maybe even the world a better place to live."
Mm-hmm. Well said.
Yes.
Well said.
Miss Parks is a very extra mile. She goes the extra mile. That's how she always strikes me. She's at 110%.
Yes.
Is how I think about her.
And our last one that I have is from Miss Renee Taylor. She is our middle school science teacher. Her why, I hope to inspire, spark the imagination, motivate, encourage, and arouse our students to new aspirations and goals in all aspects of their education. She likes to elevate ambitions and communication socially in a world that has lost face-to-face connections to the human spirit. Project a positive light and hope in everyday life that will direct the students towards success.
I like what she says there about, and I think this is a problem in our society across the board. We talk about a lot with all our screen time. Often I see people out in parents, and everybody's got their face in the screen.
The whole family has got their face in a screen.
Put it down.
A screen, excuse me.
Interaction. We don't want our students to lose the ability to talk to each other, to ask each other questions, to look each other in the eye.
Communication so critical.
Yes.
Other than on a text message.
And I love that she's emphasizing that, and that's important to her.
Yes.
Well, obviously, Dr. King, you got a staff there, and I thank them for taking the time to do that so you could bring it on the show that have a real passion for what they do and a real sense of mission on what they want to do. So thank you for sharing that. Folks, we're talking to Dr. King, from the Bedford County Learning Academy, and Dr. Carol Garrette, the Director of Communications at Bedford County Schools. We're going to take a 60-second break and be right back.
Kincaid's is proud to offer Beauty Rest Black to our customers. Beauty Rest Black represents a leap forward in bedding with sleep climate technology keeping you cool, and triple-stranded pocketed coils that give you luxurious support all night long. Wake up refreshed and ready to take on the day with a new Beauty Rest Black mattress from Kincaid Service Company, 400 Madison Street, Shelbyville, across from the Speedway gas station, 931-684-5662.
United Communications builds connections you can rely on. Whether it's fast internet for your home or business, our fiber network is designed for your community. No long hold times, no out-of-town providers, just real service from real people. Call 931-740-1800 or visit united.net. Thousands of Tennesseans already trust United. United Communications. Fast, local internet.
Folks, this is Scott Johnson on behalf of Hopkins Farm Broadcasting here in Shelbyville, Tennessee, Bedford County. It's that time of the month. We have Carol Garrette, Director of Communications for our Bedford County schools in here. And today her special guest is Dr. King with the Bedford County Learning Academy. Before we went to the break, we were talking about some what I'll call testimonials from some of the teachers and why they do it. And we already talked about the point system you have as far as a reward system for kids being able to go back to their primary assigned schools. What else do you have going on out there, Dr. King?
What we have is when students do go back and they graduate, lots of times they come back and they thank us for being a part of their journey.
What does that mean to you?
It means so much to me. I'm usually speechless.
Seriously. Mm-hmm.
And sometimes it's some of the students that you had a really hard relationship with that you didn't
Difficult
always,
times. How's that?
you didn't
Difficult
always see
times.
eye to eye,
Right,
but
right.
they do appreciate, as they mature and they reach that milestone of graduation, they come back and they thank the teachers, and they thank me for believing in
So
them.
they actually come back to the school and do
Yeah,
that?
they usually
Do they really?
It's
Good for
usually
them.
the day when they do the walks through the elementary schools and the middle schools. When that's finished, they'll come back and come by BCLA, and they'll have their cap and gown on, and it's one of
Okay.
those. I guess that's part of my why.
That's kind of an
is
emotional
seeing
time
that.
there,
It
isn't
is.
it?
It's very emotional, and the teachers, it means a lot to them as well to see that.
Well, and obviously that puts them well on a road to success here, being able to live a quality life here in Bedford County.
Yes.
Versus dealing with other issues in Bedford County. So, well, I know that's a great time. Anything else you want to talk about?
And aside from graduating, to have students that do go through the point system and get awarded to go back to their schools, and we don't see them again as a student at BCLA, meaning they don't get in trouble again. So that's always,
they're not repeat students.
right. And they'll come by sometimes to see us as well, but just to visit, or sometimes they'll send an email. So it's just really good to hear from them. And our student advocate, Jana Cunningham, she does a really good job of getting 2 to 3 visits in with the students once they transition back, just to make sure they're on track. So that's been very
She
helpful.
actually goes see them?
Yes, she has this chart where she tries to keep it, where she can manage it. But usually she tries to get 2 to 3 visits once they return back to their home schools, where she's checking in with them. So that's a
What a
success.
great follow-up program.
Yes, that's something we started this school year, and it's been rewarding for her to be able to be a part of that.
Go ahead, Carol.
Well, I was going to say one thing that might feel counterintuitive, but I think this is a success point for BCLA, is when students don't want to leave. So something about the environment is helping them, whether it's the smaller...
And they realize it.
They realize it. Whether it's the smaller numbers, the one-on-one from a very caring teacher, maybe it's the stricter structure, but something
Clicks
is
for them.
appealing to students. And some students do not want to leave. So I think that's a success point.
It is. We have students as well as their parents sometimes, when we have that first meeting for them to possibly return to their home school, bring that up. And it's really hard to say no because of our numbers, the way they fluctuate, and we get an influx of students. So we aren't allowed now, as much as we have in the past, to say, okay, you can finish out the semester, or you can finish out the
You just
school
don't have
year.
the capacity.
We don't have the capacity for
anymore.
it. But it's a request lots of times from students as well as their parents.
As their parents.
That
Okay.
makes you feel good, too.
It does, and it makes the teachers feel good, too.
Yes.
Anything else you want to talk about on the Bedford County Learning Academy, which is located on Elm Street here, next to the old Coca-Cola plant here in Shelbyville, across from First Community Bank. I haven't been there a few times myself and observed what's going on there. And I just want to say thank you to what you do there, Dr. King, and what your staff does. That includes your teachers and your support staff.
Yes.
Everybody there. Because I will tell you, having been there several times, observing, it takes a special person to be able to work in that environment and make sure that our children and our kids and our students are successful, because one of the points I always make is most of them are going to stay in our communities. We want them to be productive and successful later in life, and obviously you guys are really helping build a great foundation to do that. So thank you. Make sure you pass that on.
I definitely will. Thank you.
I know you guys are kind of isolated over there from the rest of the school system.
Yeah, and
but
I hope they don't feel forgotten, but you'll probably feel forgotten sometimes, but we want to remind people that BCLA is an important part of what we do. And we have had some businesses in the past, so I'll do this shout out as well.
Okay.
Like First Community Bank at one time found out that they needed bottled waters, and they provided those to the school. And
Thank
so
you to First
we don't
Community
want-
Bank.
That's right. We don't want them to be forgotten in that way. We also partnered one time with our Sonic. It was the Sonic on which one? Madison Street, I believe, the Madison Street Sonic.
Okay.
And
Madison Street Sonic,
they
thank
were
you.
rewarding students who they had a reward program, and once a week, one of the teachers would go get Sonic drinks for the students that had earned a certain points
Okay.
or whatever the reward system was, and Sonic provided those drinks to our students. And that's
Thanks
you
to
know,
them.
a Sonic drink in the middle of the day, that's a big deal.
No, it really
it's a big
is.
deal to me.
Yes.
To get a sweet tea or a slushie or something,
Yes.
that's a big deal. So we appreciate our business partners in remembering
Certainly.
BCLA, and so I do that shout out as well. If anybody is interested, they can contact me at the central office, or they can contact Dr. King at BCLA, and we'd be happy to partner.
Absolutely. Well, you heard straight from Carol Garrette. If you want to help with BCLA, help your small bit or a business here, any business, want to help out, both their numbers are in the phone book. Call the central office or call BCLA.
And I have a question. I don't know how this works, and
How
I
does
don't
this
know why
work?
I have never thought of this.
I don't know.
How
You going
does
to put me on the spot, Carol?
No, I'm going to ask
You're gonna put Dr. King on the spot.
She knows,
All right.
but she knows. How does lunch work? Because you don't have a cafeteria.
Ooh, I know.
You know. Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay, breakfast and lunch. For breakfast, Mr. Court Huffman picks up breakfast for us, and whenever he's out, either myself or Miss Lawson, or we'll get someone to pick up breakfast from Thomas Magnus
School.
Food.
I knew.
Yes,
Ooh.
Thomas Magnus School's
Yep.
cafeteria,
Which is only a block away. so-
provides us with
Yeah.
our breakfast and our lunch. And for lunch, maintenance, someone from maintenance picks up lunch for us and delivers it to us. And the students have to eat in the classrooms because we do not have a cafeteria.
No, and that was a good question, Carol. I just happen to know that because I was there one time when they were delivering the food. But thanks to the nutrition folks there at Thomas School for providing that to
Yes.
BCLA.
And so they have to keep up with your numbers.
Yes, Miss Lawson, our front office clerk, she gets that sent in daily.
Okay. Great.
Got some logistics involved there, but I'm glad they have a great partnership with Thomas School on being able to do that because kitchens are expensive.
Ooh,
So
absolutely.
to have that done.
That's right.
Carol, I know that you, I thank you again for coming in today, Dr. King, and doing all that. Keep doing what you guys are doing. I know you're coming up to the end of the school year.
Yes.
So that means, what does that mean? That means there's a lot going on. So, Carol, what's going on?
Yes, we are bracing for the impact of May.
Yes. I
There's
mean,
a lot going
in
on.
education, that's a big month, right?
Absolutely. And of course, testing has begun, state testing this week. And
Is it
April,
this week?
April is testing month.
Oh, my
so,
gosh.
yes,
Okay.
That's big right now. But then we come into May, and there's so many fun things going on in May, too. But it's very, very busy.
It certainly is.
Especially our seniors that are preparing for the next chapter in their lives and saying goodbye to their schools. It's a bittersweet time for them, but we have a lot going on. I had to put on an Excel spreadsheet yesterday all the dates and what was going on where. It's a lot.
You have to spin up to wind down.
That's right. Exactly. Well said. But one of the things that's coming up is Summer Learning Camp, and I wanted to mention that one today because the deadline is this week on April the 11th.
Oh, yes.
So these are for...
Explain what that is.
Yes, so these are current kindergarten through current 8th graders that
Where they're at sitting today.
that may need some extra learning experiences this summer, and we have our fully staffed certified teachers that are helping with Summer Learning Camp this summer signed up to do that. So far there are 831 signed up for Summer Learning Camp. So if you are interested in
That's
your
a lot.
child attending, and all the information for that, Summer Learning Camp begins June 2nd and goes through June the 26th. The theme this year is Gear Up for Learning.
Okay.
You can go to our website, so that's www.bedfordk12tn.com, and then go to the resources tab, and under the resources tab it says Summer Learning Camp. All the information is there. The sign-up form is there, how it works, how the whole day works, etc., and where your students will be located, etc. So if you're interested in that deadline is the 11th. And then also we have another summer program, and it's SACP. So SACP is our after-school care program,
right.
school-age care program.
Sure, yeah.
And they are hosting a summer care program, and they have so many fun things planned. So this is more of a care program. They definitely have learning going on, and they have and crafts and different learning, but they also do a lot of fun things. It's very affordable. All that information is on the website. That sign-up doesn't begin until May 1, but then they will take sign-ups all summer through probably, I think, mid-July they stop taking, and then it ends at the end of July. And that is for rising kindergarten through rising 8th grade. So entering kindergarten through entering 8th grade versus the summer learning camp where we're shoring
where
up
you're
some of
sitting
our
right
learning.
now.
Yeah, that's where you're sitting right now, exactly. You can find information about SACP's summer care program, a great alternative to other babysitting care programs, is on the website under departments, and then SACP or school age care program, and all the summer information is there and how to get signed up. And then finally, open enrollment is coming up. So that is for folks that may want their child to attend a school outside of their zone. And also, if you are transitioning from, let's say, a middle school to a high school, and that middle school that you are currently in is outside your zone, you do have to reapply to go to that high school. Now, if you're staying in that middle school, say you're going from 6th grade to 7th grade, you don't have to, but once you transition to another school, you do have to reapply for open enrollment. The seat, it's based, who gets in is based on how many seats are available. If there are more asking to be in that school than seats are available, it's a lottery draw.
Okay.
And of course,
can't get any more fair than that.
That's right. And of course, Bedford County students are given priority over out of county students.
Because you do have some of those.
We do have some of those, for sure.
That pay tuition.
That's right, and they pay tuition.
Yeah.
That open enrollment begins on May the 1st and has a hard deadline of May the 31st. And then parents will be notified if they received a seat in their requested school by in July.
So,
I can't remember the exact date, but that is on our website also under resources and enrollment. So if you go to the resources tab, and then under that it says open enrollment.
Because all schools are zoned, right?
That's correct. All schools,
to include high schools.
High school,
Yeah,
which
they're
it
all
used
zoned.
to be that way,
So
but
this
that has changed.
Right. So that's why I said that at one time
That's
they
right.
were not. But
new state law, I think this is our 3rd year to do open enrollment, I believe. Now, the number of seats that are available was not posted as of yesterday, but we will have it up by the 15th.
All right.
Probably one day this week. We're just waiting on those seat availabilities. Probably that'll be up this week, but there's a big chart in the middle of that open enrollment page, and you can see who has what seats. Now, the only school that does not participate in open enrollment, it is not considered, it is a closed school, is Thomas Magnet.
That's a different process.
It's a different process. That's exactly right. And you can read about that on the website as well.
I was going to say they have their own application process.
Correct.
Considered a magnet school.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then also always talk about Parent University. We have 2 more. The next
two more.
2 more. We
April
have April
and
May.
Okay.
Yeah,
What do you got going on,
keep
Carol?
on going. So April the 10th this week. This is a really important one. This is to help parents complete the required. Every parent, every student has to have an updated student information form. And so this one on April the 10th, we are helping parents get those forms completed, as well as answering any questions about the open enrollment process.
Okay.
In fact, even though the Parent University is from 6 to 7 p.m. at Harris Middle School, they are going to have computers set up in the Harris Middle School cafeteria from 3 to 7 for anyone that wants to come in, use a computer, have help from our staff at Bedford County Schools to get that student information form completed. And every school has to do that. I think, or every student has to have that. I think one of the most important parts of that student information form is making sure that a student's emergency contact information is updated,
critical.
as well as backup plans for people that are authorized to pick up your child, because you never know if something's going to happen, when that's going to happen, and what are your plans?
And if you're not on the list, you're not getting the child.
That's correct.
I mean, that's critical. I as a public safety guy, I can say, please get that updated. I know people change addresses, they change phone numbers sometimes, and it's so critical for the school system because you want them to be able to get in touch with you about your child. So make sure you get that updated. And if you ask some
of our leaders in the school system who have children in our school system, how many backup authorized people do you have? They'll usually say around 5. So maybe you and your significant other, and then a neighbor, a cousin, a niece. Lots of backup plans in case something happens. But this is the opportunity to get that form updated. But our parent universities are always free. We always have our translators available to assist, so don't worry about that.
And they're always at Harris Middle School.
And they are always at Harris Middle School.
Thanks to them for hosting.
That's right. But it is for, maybe people think it's only for Harris.
No. Whole school system.
Whole school system. It's just a really good central location. They have a large, beautiful facility. Yes. So we
They really do, yeah.
Mm-hmm. But take advantage of that, and that is this Thursday, April 10th, and there will be one more in May as well, and that'll be about our summer camp programs in May. And, of course, May is graduation month. We're excited for our seniors.
What a great time of year.
Yes.
What I have, especially for teachers that have, I know you've probably seen some of these kids when they were in elementary school, and now they're fixing to graduate. Not trying to date anybody here.
right.
But because I've known Dr. King for a while, and she was out at Cascade Middle School, Central High School, and now doing that job and never getting bored at the Bedford County Learning Academy. So thanks for coming in today again, Dr. King, and talking about your facility and your school and what you guys do there.
And I love it when our leaders have experience in lots of our schools, because then they really get it. They really understand, and Dr. King is one of those.
That breadth of experience, absolutely, and we appreciate that. So, Carol, is there anything else you want to talk about before we go out the air?
I think that's it, Scott.
Thank you guys for coming in today. We always love having the Bedford County Schools coming in here. Folks, we've been talking to Carol Garrette, the Director of Communications for Bedford County Schools, and Dr. King with the Bedford County Learning Academy. We have 11 government-related talk shows every month right here on WLIJ 98.7 FM. Hear it straight from the horse's mouth of what's really going on. This is Scott Johnson on behalf of Hopkins Farm Broadcasting. Until next time.
Kincaid's is proud to offer Beauty Rest Black to our customers. Beauty Rest Black represents a leap forward in bedding with sleep climate technology keeping you cool, and triple-stranded pocketed coils give you luxurious support all night long. Wake up refreshed and ready to take on the day with a new Beauty Rest Black mattress from Kincaid Service Company, 400 Madison Street, Shelbyville, across from the Speedway gas station, 931-684-5662. At United Communications, we're more than just fast internet. We're your local connection to reliability and service you can count on right here in Bedford County. With fiber fast speeds and a team in your community, we keep you connected when it matters most. No long hold times, no out-of-town providers, just real service from people who care. Call 931-740-1800 or visit united.net. Thousands of Tennesseans already trust United. United Communications. Fast, local internet.